Hello, everyone. Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. Today, it's about this is another one that's going to go in my watching AI video, so you don't have to, because it was an AI video. So it is the side dishes from the 1970s. A lot of them that have probably been forgotten. A lot of them I've either forgotten about or actually don't remember or never heard of. So some of these I remember quite well and loved them and still do. And so it was kind of a fun thing to watch that and take notes, because I'm like, oh man, there's some great ideas. However, here's the problem with a lot of these kind of some of these dishes that were made then is they used a lot of things like canned soups and Cool Whip. Those are easy because you can make your own. Use real whipping cream or whipped cream or real whipping cream that you then whip up to a whipped cream. Then you can make these things. And of course, I'll cover that. Or make your own cream base soup or sauce so you don't have to buy cream of mushroom soup or cream of celery soup. These are very, very easy to make. And anyway, so think of those as substitutes. Now, there's a few things I'm not sure what you would use as a substitute, but I'll get to that. So starting off with the 3-bean salad. Oh my goodness, I love 3-bean salad. Usually you also add onions and whatever else. And it has more of an Italian dressing typically, or a vinegar and something. So, and like with any of these ideas, everybody has their own version of it, and you can look each one of these up online. That's a really good one and a nice healthy one. And yeah, you can make your own dressing for that. You don't have to buy a dressing. It'd be so super simple. And by the way, anyone who's watching this, put in some of your ideas, whether it be for these dishes or dishes that you remember from the 70s that either you still make or you haven't had since the 70s. It's always good to have great ideas, but 27. Oh, here's the funny thing about this. The AI video said 25, but there was actually 27 in there. That's another one of those things I notice a lot about these AI videos. They'll give a number, but then the number they actually have in the video doesn't match. There's either more or less. So number 2 on here is Waldorf salad. Haven't had that in forever. So a lot of you probably remember this. I remember it being kind of a sweet and savory thing with mostly apple, celery, and mayonnaise. I'm sure some people do it with Miracle Whip. Ugh. Yuck. I'm sorry. I'm just not a fan. I know some people are total opposite. Just the idea of mayonnaise just grosses them out. I've always been a mayonnaise person. But yeah, I think I just remember apples being the main ingredient. Okay, number 3. This was one of my favorites. I've never made this one. And that is the Watergate salad, also known as pistachio fruit salad. Oh my goodness, that's one of my favorites. So that one would be like a fruit salad with, I think people usually put in marshmallows and Cool Whip or whipped cream, the real stuff. And this was the one I'm like, what would you do as a replacement for the instant Jell-O pudding? If anybody has any ideas, please put them in there. Because I've thought about this. I'm like, man, I love pistachio salad or Watergate salad. I didn't even know till I was going through this list that it was called Watergate salad. I don't even think I knew what it was called. I just, every time somebody would bring it to a potluck, I'm like, yes, or some kind of family dinner. But anyway, I'm wondering, what could you do different to be able to get that flavor? I mean, I know you could add pistachios. I'd love some ideas on that because, instant Jell-O pudding, no. There's just so much garbage in that stuff now. I mean, I could see grinding up or, chopping up pistachios and throwing them in there, but how else would you get that flavor? I'm almost wondering if like an almond extract, like if you made an almond extract, which is typically made from bitter almond, or even peach pits. No, it's not going to kill you. Good gravy. But I mean, we think about it, that's what, like if you were to buy a natural almond extract at the store, natural, not artificial, not imitation, It's made with either bitter almond or peach pits or apricot pits, because that's where you get a much stronger almond flavor than you do from the almonds themselves. So you can make pistachio pudding at home. I guess I can look that up. I want to know how you get that flavor, because it almost seems like it has a bit of an almond flavor to it as well. That's why I was thinking like a homemade almond extract. Let's see, another one that would be very closely related, and another one I love because they're very similar, is the ambrosia. Oh my goodness, I love ambrosia. So very similar. You got your fruit, your marshmallows, your whipped cream instead of Cool Whip. And well, probably any of these. People might add walnuts or pecans or something like that too. Okay, so another one, stuffed celery. Now, I remember this kind of stuff. I like use cream cheese, olives, pimento. Another one is a rice-a-roni pilaf. So you'll notice a lot of these 70s dishes, this is when a lot of the instant, stuff really started taking off. I think canned soup was around for a long time, but like rice-a-roni or what's that cornbread? My mom always got that. She loved that Jiffy cornbread. It's not that much more difficult just to make it from scratch. My goodness. And so the cool thing about the rice-a-roni pilaf, I always liked rice-a-roni as a kid, but then as an adult, it's where, Amy Decision's book, and I'm like, oh, she's got a recipe for a rice-a-roni where you can make it from scratch. And I've made it ever since, and I change it up every time. And it's easy. You don't have to buy a box mix to do it. So yeah, you can make your own rice-a-roni. I have several videos on this because I accidentally did 3, not realizing I already had 2 others out there. That's what happens when you've been on YouTube making videos for so many years. You're like, oh, I already did a video on this. People are probably getting tired of seeing the same video. It's because it's one of our favorites. So anyway, moving on, because this list is long. There was one called Copper Pennies. It was sliced carrots, onions, green peppers. The stuff I wrote down is just like the very basic ingredients, and then people would take it and then do whatever they wanted with it. Those were marinated in tomato soup, vinegar, sugar, and oil. I don't remember if I ever tried these. Well, it sounded interesting. It makes sense it'd be called Copper Pennies because of the sliced carrots, and then marinated in the tomato soup would probably make it look even more copper. Okay, this one, that's funny that I don't remember this being from the 70s. I thought this got to be big like in the 80s or 90s, and that was the green bean casserole. But maybe it was started in the 70s, which would make sense. And people still make this, and it is still a great one. And that's, here you got your canned soup, cream of mushroom soup. Well, make your own cream of mushroom sauce. You got your green beans, and then you get those French fried onions that you put on top. Now, that I don't mind so much, though some people probably might want to come up with their own option of for French fried onions. But to me, that's something you're sprinkling on top, and it's a once in a while thing. And you can get them at Costco really cheap compared to buying them little cans at the store. You can buy the big old bag at Costco. That's one of the things I could get delivered here. So I have a few bags on hand. So Costco is a good place to get those if you're going to buy them. But if anybody has any ideas to make their own, because I think there's like a breading on them. They probably are fried and then dried. Corn pudding. Does anybody remember this? I don't remember this one, but it sounded good. Corn, eggs, milk, sugar, butter. Number 10, perfection salad. This is one I don't think I'd be interested in. It was one of those aspics. It was a specific type of aspic where you had your different layers of stuff in there, though I don't remember what all was in there. Not an aspic person myself. I just think most of them look pretty gross, unless they were a fruity one. That was different. Like something with raspberries and pineapple or whatever. Yeah. But not these savory. Oh, I'm sorry. I still think to this day, I don't remember if I ever tried any. I still think they just look disgusting. But if any of you have had aspics or made them and really, really like them, please share with us. 11, Harvard beets. I've had pickled beets, and beets are already kind of sweet, and I like pickled beets, but this was more like a sweet and sour, and it seemed like the sauce was thicker. So Linda also says, I adore Harvard beets. I thought they sounded good because I do like beets and I like pickled beets. And so I thought this sounded really good, but I'd be afraid to eat it because, well, okay, if I was to eat them, I better get a tarp to throw over myself because it's inevitable I will get it on my clothes. Number 12, spinach souffle. I thought this was kind of interesting because it sounded and looked very much like a quiche because it's got eggs and spinach and the cheese. But I think the main difference is the spinach souffle was made without the crust like you would for a quiche, because quiche is typically made in a pie crust. I need to make quiche again sometime. I love it. The cheese, the spinach, the eggs in a pie crust. Patrick, to him, he didn't really like it as a dinner. I did make it once for dinner, and he said it was good. He just, I never made it again because I won't think to make something like this for breakfast. The reason he didn't like it is he's that kind of person that he doesn't like eating breakfast for dinner. And to him, it was too much like a breakfast meal. Then there was a carrot ring. This was one I'd never heard of, which involves pureed carrots baked in a bundt cake pan. They would bake this carrot puree that I don't know what else they added to it. I'm sure there was more than just pureed carrots that were baked. Then they'd fill the center of it with peas, which to me didn't look really pretty. I think I would fill the center of it with something else. But the carrot ring itself actually sounded good. Another one was another aspic, and it was like another specific aspic called tomato aspic, which I believe was made with like tomato soup or tomato juice. Succotash. So this would be corn, beans, and other vegetables. I think the main focus was the corn, and sauteed in butter and cream. I've never had succotash. And here's something interesting that it was so interesting that I had just wrote this down. What I didn't know is that it was a traditional Native American dish. And I was watching on the Life podcast. I don't know if anyone has seen that. And this Native American couple was being interviewed. Oh, they were such great people. They were so fun. They're the kind of people I just love to hang out with. They had such a great sense of humor, and you could tell just fun people. But they were talking about how a lot of things like keeping the feasts and some of these different things that they're in their native traditions through the centuries. These were things they did. And this couple didn't even realize, hey, these were biblical things we were doing. And that the succotash, Sukkot, it was made at that time of year of the Feast of Tabernacles. So I thought that was really, really cool. So now I'm going to have to learn how to make succotash, and then I'll make that for the next Sukkot or the next Feast of Tabernacles. I think that'd be super cool. Anyway, let's see, what else do we have? Scalloped tomatoes. And that's another one I thought sounded interesting. So I was wondering if anyone has tried that. I'm pretty sure I've had this or something like it, and that's the broccoli rice casserole. So cheese, cream of mushroom soup, remember that you can make yourself, topped with crushed crackers to give it a nice little crunch. So I thought that sounded pretty yummy. Let's see, now we're to 23. Pickled beet eggs. Now, I've done something like similar to this, where I've made beet kvass, and then I took the kvass and fermented some hard-boiled eggs in it. It's pretty much the same thing. But yeah, I like it. And it's really cool because it gives the hard-boiled eggs a really beautiful color. They're like this deep burgundy color on the outside. Some of the color seeps down even a little bit into the yolk, but most of it is on the outside and some into the white. See, Jen says, I've found when you search these vintage recipes, use the term first edition. With so many recipes on the World Wide Web, it's hard to find the originals. Good tip there. Very good tip. That's a good idea because yes, a lot of these people have taken them and just gone a billion different ways with them. See, that's me. I'd want to know, okay, what exactly was the original recipe? Then take that and add my own things to it rather than taking somebody else's own additions of it. And then, yeah, not that I don't mind getting other ideas, but I'd still like to start with the basic, authentic or original form of the recipe. Okay, we've got a few more. So number 24 is 7-layer salad. So you had your lettuce, onion, so you layered this. Usually in a glass bowl so you could see it from the outside because that's what made it look so pretty. So you'd layer it so that the colors would really stand out. And so you wouldn't want to layer it so the same colors are right next to each other. So you'd have lettuce, onions. I think throwing like red onions in there would be good because then you get that purple in there. Peas, tomatoes, obviously fresh tomatoes, cheese, mayonnaise, and it says bacon, but for those of you who are pork free, I'd use just the Painted Hills classic beef bacon would be my choice. Some people might want to go with turkey bacon, but I think that sounds good. I'm sure I've had 7-layer salad before, but man, some of this stuff I don't remember or it's been so long. This next one, number 25, I'm pretty sure I've had this because it seems like I really liked it. That was creamed onion. So you use the pearl onions in a white sauce. 2 more. So these were the ones that took it to 26 and 27, and that was marinated mushrooms. And it seemed like it was more specific, but I love marinating fresh mushrooms in homemade wine and butter. And then throwing in some onion and garlic. Oh my goodness. So simple and so good. Let's see. What does this even say? My last one. I can't even read it. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. It says don't laugh at me. Only I can laugh at me. Anyway, glorified rice. So this would be a sweet dish. So it sounds to me like it tastes more like a rice pudding. So it's cooked rice with fruit and whipped cream. They actually said whipped cream and not Cool Whip. I was surprised. But anyway, that was the 27 70s side dishes. I want to do more of these because this is fun. This is a good way to add more spice to our meals, or just being reminded of things that maybe we haven't had in a long time or we've never made. And yeah, or we can just make things more interesting. And so I could do like main dishes. Doesn't have to be 70s. I think they have ones on like 60s and 50s and things about desserts and main dishes and whatnot. So I would like to do more of these because it's fun. To me, it's fun. Real butter will make everything taste better. There you go. Thank you, everyone. Hope you have a great weekend or a great rest of your week whenever you're watching this. And thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.